What is going on, Internet world? My name is Tommy. You probably know me as Rivet, and I'm your coach of the Atlanta Braviaries, the highest flying fly-sticking team on YouTube. We are here today with our Week 7 battle of the PCC against Beater and the Philadelphia Flygons. This is going to be a great match. Welcome to the workshop. Alrighty guys, we're here breaking down our Week 7 match of the PCC against Coach Beater and the Philadelphia Flygons. He's got a really scary team, but I think we have a decent squad to take him on this week. His first Pokemon is Tapu Koko, an incredibly strong electric and fairy type with the electric surge ability. It's incredibly fast at base 130 speed and it's got very good offensive options with a great dual stab and Thunderbolt and Dazzling Gleam and some other supportive moves such as U-Turn, Roost, and Nature's Madness. Definitely expecting a more supportive set this week, maybe something like Volt Switch, Nature's Madness, Roost, and Taunt, something like that. He needs something to hit Ferrothorn, so he can Nature's Madness Pharaoh coming in. He can Volt Switch out to avoid Iron Barbs and stuff like that. My ground type isn't super free at all. I have a Flygon on here, obviously, which doesn't want to take a Dazzling Gleam. So he can, scare me pretty good with the D-Gleam and just Volt Switch around me pretty freely. So maybe I'll make a little bit of prediction. Maybe I won't. I try to stop the momentum. But really got to watch out for Koko this week. Next up is Necrozma, incredibly versatile Psychic type with the Prism Armor ability. It can do pretty much everything. It can run physically offensive sets with Dragon Dance and offensive moves such as like Earthquake, Photon Geyser. It can run special sets with Calm Mind, Meteor Beam, Heat Wave, Photon Geyser again, obviously. Earth Power. It can run bulkier sets. It can Stealth Rock. It gets Recovery with Moonlight. Not sure if it'll bring Moonlight just because I do have Rain on here, and that's weather-dependent recovery. So probably expecting a more offensive Necrozma this week, either like Rock Polish, Weakness Policy, or Meteor Beam, Rock Polish, or Dragon Dance. Something I think he'll probably have Heat Wave on here. I would probably be expecting either like a Rock Polish, Weakness Policy set with special moves such as Photon Geyser, Earth Power, and Heat Wave. I could see a couple other things, so I'll have to scout for Necrozma. It can literally do anything. I don't have a whole lot for it either way, so definitely got to watch out for it. Next up is Terrakion, an incredibly scary and offensive rock and fighting type with the Justified ability. It's incredibly strong at base 129 attack. It's got an amazing dual stab in close combat and Stone Edge, and does get other good moves such as Earthquake as well. It can run Sword Stance sets with Life Orb. It can run Choice Band and Choice Scarf. Definitely expecting a Choice Scarf set this week. It outpaces pretty much everything on my team and just absolutely obliterates it. It outspeeds Choice Scarf Blacephalon, Torn T if I'm not Scarfed, and a bunch of other things. So I'm really scared of Choice Scarf Terrakion. I really don't have anything that takes it on super reliably. So I'm hoping I can handle it decently, but I'm definitely very scared of it, especially in the late game. Next up is Mandibuzz, a very bulky and annoying Dark and Flying type with the Overcoat ability. It does a whole bunch of stuff. It can pivot around with U-Turn, knock some stuff off. It can foul play for damage. It can Roost for longevity, defog hazards away, Tommy to stop me from doing silly things, and just do a couple of different things. Probably expecting Mandibuzz this week. It's one of his better switch-ins to Blacephalon, especially defensive set. Doesn't take a whole lot. He does run the risk of me tricking into him. I think he'll be wary about that. So maybe he'll be running something a little bit differently. Something he can, or maybe he'll try to predict a trick, go into something else. Such as Koko to try to grab some a Scarf or some Specs or something of the sort. So definitely got to watch out for Mandibuzz. Next up is Swampert, a very bulky ground and water type with the Torrent and Damp abilities. Another very solid switch into Blacephalon, as it is very bulky, and it's got pretty good offensive stats as well. It's got pretty solid dual stab and Liquidation and Earthquake, and it can flip, turn around, set Stealth Rocks, do a couple of different things like Yawn and Toxic. Definitely see Swampert this week. It's, again, one of his better switch-ins to Blacephalon. It handles the Fire-type moves that Mandibuzz might not enjoy. Swampert is, again, one of his better switch-ins to Blacephalon. It handles the Fire-type moves that something like Mandibuzz would enjoy a little bit less. You can flip, turn around, set Stealth Rocks to make me take a bunch of chip, and do a couple different things. It's also a decent switch-in to Alolan Raichu on my team. I obviously could have Grass Knot on that thing, so I'm probably just expecting, if Swampert comes, a Rindo Berry set to try to take a Grass move from that. Next up is Salazzle, a very fast and offensive Poison and Fire type with the Corrosion and Oblivious abilities. It's got great dual stab and Fire Blast and Sludge Wave. It can Nasty Plot up. It can also run like Sub, Protect, Toxic sets, which can be really annoying along with Corrosion. That could be really annoying to stop like my Ferrothorn. He could just have a Fire type move, obviously. So if Salazzle comes, probably just expecting a Nasty Plot, a Sub Nasty Plot, Fire Blast, and Sludge Wave set. It pretty much hits everything on my team besides Flygon, and a +2 with Sludge Wave is still doing a whole lot. But it bodies the core of Ferrothorn plus Sylveon and puts on a lot of pressure on my other stuff. Next up is Noivern, a very fast Dragon and Flying type with the Infiltrator ability. It's got a pretty solid dual stab in Draco Meteor and Hurricane. It gets other good moves such as Flamethrower, U-Turn, and Super Fang. It can Roost for longevity and defog hazards away. Probably not expecting Noivern this week. I have a pretty solid answer to it in Sylveon. He could be running something like Choice Specs with Hurricane just to take advantage of my own rain. But I do have a couple of different solid switch-ins to it, and I think he's got better options on this team. Next up is Caparajah, a very bulky and offensive steel type with the heavy metal and sheer force abilities. It's very offensive with base 130 attack. With sheer force sets, it can run moves like Iron Head, Rock Slide, Power Whip, Play Rough, a bunch of different things. With heavy metal, it can run Heavy Slam and Heat Crash, do a lot of different stuff. Probably expecting a heavy metal set this week, as I think the added damage on Heat Crash going into Ferrothorn is very much needed. So if it comes, I could either see like a 3-attack Stealth Rock set or a 4-attack Assault Vest set. I think that set has a little bit more viability. It's a pretty solid answer to Alolan Raichu and some other stuff on my team, such as Sylveon, so definitely worried about Copperajah this week. Next up is Mega Banette, a pretty tricky and offensive ghost type with the Prankster ability. It's got fantastic base attack at 165. However, it doesn't have the best moves to take advantage of it. It's pretty much limited to Shadow Sneak, Shadow Claw, and Knock Off, and maybe like Gunk Shot. It can do a variety of Prankster shenanigans. It can Will-O-Wisp and Thunder Wave. It can obviously Destiny Bond, which is the main thing, but not really expecting Mega Banette this week. I have an incredibly reliable response to it in Drapion. The only thing he could do would like try to trick me with like a Destiny Bond setup or something, but otherwise Willows and Thunder Waves don't do anything. Obviously, none of his attacking moves can really hurt me, so definitely not expecting Mega Banette this week, but if it comes, I think I know what it's going to do. Next up is Licky Licky, a very bulky normal type with the Oblivious ability. He could also run Cloud9 to get rid of my rain stuff. It's a pretty solid Wish Passer and Cleric, and it does have a pretty decent offensive move pool as well. It can also get Swords Dance, but if I see it, it's probably just another answer to Blacephalon, as it can take on pretty much anything fairly comfortably. He could be running something like Knock Off, Wish Protect, Seismic Toss, something like that, or Heal Bell as well to absorb some status. And then last but not least, he's got Trevenant, a pretty offensive Grass and Ghost type with the Harvest ability. I think it also gets Natural Cure. Poltergeist and Woodhammers hit pretty hard. It does get some other good moves, such as Earthquake, I believe, but I think he's got a bunch of better stuff on this team. A bunch of it doesn't really do a whole lot to stuff on my team, such as Ferrothorn. Blacephalon can revenge it, Tornadus can revenge it, and it can't do a whole lot to some other stuff as well. So, with all that out of the way, let's hop into what I am bringing this match. Leading us off, we are rocking with Cafeole the Ferrothorn. Cafe is running a pretty specially defensive set this week with Leftovers and Iron Barbs, Gyro Ball, Spikes, Leech Seed, and Thunder Wave. 52 defense, running max HP, essentially 52 defense, and then 208 in special defense with the Careful Nature. The 52 in defense lets me take one Choice Scarf to Jolly close combat from Terrakion if I really need to, and I need to Gyro Ball that thing. That's my option. The rest is just thrown into special defense to take moves from that Tapu Koko and specially offensive Necrozma as best I can. Obviously, if he's got Heat Wave, he's going to be able to smack me pretty good, but if I can Thunder Wave that thing, if he's more of an offensive rock polishing set, which I expect him to be, that would be really super cool. I have Spikes on here. A bunch of the stuff that wouldn't enjoy Stealth Rocks are definitely coming with Boots, so I'd rather have Spikes up for Swampert and Copperajah. If those things come, they'll take more damage from Spikes, and I would enjoy whittling them down. Gyro Ball is just good for hitting a bunch of fast stuff on this team. His team is very fast, especially on the upper end, so it hits Koko and Noivern and Salazzle decently hard, as well as Choice Scarf Terrakion. And then Leech Seed is just going into stuff that don't want to take, or that take on Gyro Balls incredibly easily. I can Leech Seed, that Mandibuzz get a little bit of health left. Leech said that Copperajah. He does have to worry about Body Press. I might have that. But obviously, Mandibuzz can come in super free. He can taunt me to stop me from doing anything. So hopefully I'll be able to take that advantage. I can pivot out into something else to take on that Mandibuzz a little bit better. Next up, rocking Lacey the Sylveon again. This week, Lacey's rocking a specially defensive set with Leftovers and Pixelate, Hyper Voice, Psyshock, Wish and Protect, 248 in HP, 84 in defense, and then 176 in special defense with the Calm Nature. Hyper Voice is pretty spammable this match. He doesn't have a whole lot that wants to take on Pixelate Hyper Voices. This is obviously one of my best ways to come in against that Mandibuzz. If he doesn't expect me to have Heal Bell on this, and he's got Toxic on Mandibuzz, I'll be very sad. But I've been bringing Heal Bell pretty reliably, so I'm hoping he doesn't bring that. I'm rocking Psyshock this week, just so that Salazzle can't be aggressive and come in. I think he'll try to be aggressive and bring in Salazzle on me. So if I can stay in maybe on like a nasty plot and just Psyshock that thing, or try to catch it on a switch and just let it die, that'd be fantastic, because a bunch of the other stuff on my team don't want to deal with a Salazzle just running around. Because Cafe and Lacey obviously don't want to take it on, and neither do some of the other things on my team. So Wish is just to keep myself and the rest of the team healthy, and then Protect is just for a little bit more longevity with Leftovers and Wish, and to scout some moves. Next up, we're rocking Desert Storm. The Flygon Storm is running a speedy defensive support set this week with Leftovers and Levitate, Earthquake, U-Turn, Roost, and Defog, 248 in HP, 172 in defense, and then 88 in speed with the Jolly Nature. My speed investment lets me outspeed fully invest in Necrozma, so I can come in on that. Earthquake for a little bit of damage, U-Turn around. Roost is there for longevity, and Defog is there for getting rid of any hazards. This is one of my better answers to come in against Salazzle. Salazzle can't really touch me. If it's at +2, it'll do a decent chunk, and if he's behind a sub, that's not good. But Earthquake obviously bodies that thing. Mandibuzz is super free to come in against me, so I can pivot out on that, try to get into Lacey, do some other stuff. He can also try to pivot into a Koko against me. If he expects me to go for U-turn or Rooster Defog, and I'll have to be careful because he could like Dazzling Gleam me or just keep U-turning around. So I'll have to be careful on how I play Storm because I definitely need this thing for that Salazzle if it shows up. Because in the late game he can just start smacking moves and I can't really do a whole lot. Next up, we're rocking Snippet the Drapion. Snippet's running an offensive set this week with Scope Lens and Sniper, Night Slash, Cross Poison, Earthquake, and Agility. 252 in attack, 176 in speed with the Jolly Nature, and then 80 in HP. My speed investment lets me outspeed a Choice Scarf Tapu Koko at +2 after an Agility. This is kind of a cheese set this week. This is kind of my win con. I really hope I can get some cheesy Scope Lens Sniper stuff. I've had a long week, man. I've had so many midterms, and I'm just trying to have fun. So Snippet looks really... So Snippet looks really solid. If I can get some Night Slash and Cross Poisons off for some crits, that'll be really funny. Earthquake is there for that Terrakion. Terrakion only takes about half from an Earthquake, so this is going to have to come in late game and try to do some work because I can't rely on crits to save my butt, but otherwise it does a decent chunk to everything. Obviously, Copperajah can take this thing on fairly well, but in the late game, after some chip, if I get an Agility off, he should be able to put in a decent amount of work. It's just going to be a matter of can those Earthquakes do enough to those big bulky things. But even like a Night Slash crit doesn't do a whole lot to like if he's defensive Necrozma. It won't really do a whole lot anyway because Prism Armor, but I'm just bringing this. I thought it'd be funny, and I hope it can do some good work. In theory, I think it'll work. It's just going to depend on if I can get some crits and some chips. So hoping Snippet can do some decent work this game. Next up, we're rocking Kjall the Hitmontop. Kjall is running a fully physically defensive Intimidate set this week with Leftovers, Close Combat, Triple Axle, Toxic, and Protect. This is my main switch into Terrakion. This is really the only thing I have on this team that can like sort of switch in on Terrakion. If he's like Life Orb with like Swords Dance and he just mashes me with Close Combat after I come in, that's okay because I can switch in to something else afterwards and try to revenge it. But a Choice Scarf set is probably what I'm expecting, and this is my best bet to come in against that. Stone Edges and Close Combat don't do that much. He can't pivot out on me. Obviously, the best thing he could do would just hit me with a CC. He Toxic me as well, that'd be no bueno, but Close Combat is a decent chunk to that. Triple Axle is there for going into things such as Noivern and that Mandibuzz that would otherwise want to come in to take a Close Combat. And then Toxic is going there for going into stuff like Mandibuzz and Necrozma and Swampert that can come in all day. And then Protect is just for a little bit more longevity with Leftovers and to do a little bit of Toxic stalling. Necrozma comes down this thing every single time and you can start setting up. So I definitely don't want to sit in against that and just let him do a whole bunch of work. Hopefully I can get a Toxic off, pivot out into something like Storm or Lacey, and try to keep it from doing a whole bunch of shenanigans because that's a pretty free opportunity. So I have to do my best to not let that happen. And then last but not least, we're rocking Chocolate, the Alolan Raichu. Chocolate's running a Life Orb Surge Surfer set this week with Thunderbolt, Psychic, Grass Knot, and Nasty Plot. 252 in special attack, 240 in speed. This lets me outspeed fully invested non-choice Scarf Terrakion, and then 16 in HP. This is a really solid breaker this week. He doesn't have a whole lot that wants to take on Thunderbolt plus Psychic plus Grass Knot, and especially at +2, I'm pretty much mashing every single thing on this team except for like AV Copperajah and like specially defensive Rindoberry Swampert if they're both at full. Another thing to note, he does have Tapu Koko on this team, which has Electric Surge, so if I can get some cheesy Surge Surfer stuff going, I'll be super pleased. I'm not running Rising Voltage just because I think it's a little bit more reliable, and it does more damage to Mandibuzz, and I definitely need to be able to hit that Mandibuzz pretty hard this week to let Snippet to be able to do some stuff, because otherwise Mandy can wall that thing all day. So running Thunderbolt, I think he'll be like careful of how he manages electric terrain, especially with Raichu running around, because if I was like Nasty Plot with Voltage, he wouldn't want like that thing to just wreck him in the late game. So I think he'll be careful, and so therefore I'm not running Voltage. I'm just playing it safe with T-Bolt, but this looks really, really good as an early game breaking option and potentially a late game cleaner if I find out that Terrakion is not Choice Scarfed. This also just gives me an option. I can come in against Terrakion if he's Choice Scarfed if Electric Terrain's up. I can just hit that very, very hard with a Psychic. Obviously, Necrozma can try to come in, set up all over my face, but I do have Nasty Plot on here, and nothing really wants to take it on. At +2, except for, the two things I mentioned. So really liking Shock this week. I hope he does some good work, but with all that out of the way, let's hop into this match. Alrighty guys, we're about to hop into this Week 7 match of the PCC against Coach Beater and the Philadelphia Flygons. You can see the 6 I expect him to bring up on the screen: Tapu Koko, Necrozma, Terrakion, Mandibuzz, Swampert, and that Copperajah. I definitely also see that Salazzle in there instead of maybe Swampert or Copperajah. But you've seen the 6 I am bringing and why I am bringing them. If you haven't, go check out the Team Builder. But with all that out of the way, let's hop into this match. Okay, we do see Licky Licky and Salazzle instead of Swampert and Necrozma. Swampert and that thing. So definitely not surprised to see Salazzle. Licky Licky is his Blaze answer. Totally cool with that. Obviously I didn't bring Blaze. That's the thing about Blacephalon. I like Blacephalon, but honestly he's just good for psychological torture half the time because he's sitting there. The daddy-o. But otherwise, I'm so scared of Terrakion. I'm so scared of Necrozma. But this will be a fun match. Peter and I's games are always fun, win or lose. So at this point, I'm trying to have fun. I'm literally a broken man at this point. Out a long week, fellas. From a lead, I can totally see him leading Koko. I can see him leading Mandibuzz or Terrakion. I don't hate my Kial lead. I also don't hate my Storm lead. I can pivot out on pretty much anything. I'm gonna lead Storm. Yeah, but I don't necessarily want to stay in for a Deep-Gleam on that Koko. I don't think he'd do that though, obviously, because he won't be able to kill me unless he's like Specs. I don't think he'd be Specs. I could also lead Cafe. That's not the worst lead in the world, but I don't necessarily know if he'll lead. I could also lead Shocklet and try to put on some pressure immediately, especially if he thinks I'm like Joy Scarfed or something. I could also lead Lacey. You know, I'm gonna lead. I think he's gonna lead. I like my Storm lead. Let's do that. He's gonna lead Salazzle. Perfect. I'm just gonna U-turn. If you go for a sub, you're a god. No, Licky's gonna come out. All right. He's Helmet Licky. He's physically defensive, it looks like. Or he's got a mix. He's not like fully physical, but he's at least mixed defenses. So I can go into Kial here and toss off a Toxic. I think that's what I want to do. Oblivious. Okay, he's not leftover. Oh, he's Helmet, obviously. Go for a nice little Toxic here. Yeah, this stupid thing comes out. I missed my Toxic. That's incredibly bad. I can't stand against this thing. Lacey realistically can't touch this thing. Yeah, that's no bueno. Because he's going to set up here, and I'm in a really rough spot. I need this thing. I'm going to go into Lacey and see what he goes for. Dragon Dance, just straight for Photon Geyser. 62. Okay. I got to go for a Hyper Voice, and pray it does a decent chunk. 38. He's going to be able to possibly kill me. I gotta get into Shocklet and start making some moves. But realistically, this is not gonna do anything to this piece of crap. So I needed that thing to hit so bad. I also don't know how Photon Geyser works. So he did 38. He's like Choice Specs. That was like a min roll on Specs, I guess. What if he was modest? Like Power Herb. Yeah, no, he's like Choice Specs. I don't know how he wouldn't be. I'm just gonna go into Cafe and see what he does. Or he's gonna pivot into Salazzle. Good play. Well, there was my opportunity to click Psyshock. I'm very sad that I didn't, but I didn't expect Salazzle to come out there. That must be Choice Specs Necrozma. He's gonna will on me. Oh, shit, alright, that was a good play. I'm just gonna hard go into. I can try to set up. I could just like hard pivot into Kial this time, so I don't take more helmet damage from this thing. Or I can go into Cafe, but I gotta get a nasty plot up because even. The Lolachu, that Licky, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot, even if he is like mixed defenses. Should have brought Focus Blast. I almost changed Grass not to Focus Blast, and I didn't. I just don't know what his... If he's got a knockoff on there, which he probably does, he just smacks me. So I can go into Snippet and try to just click Cross Poison. I can just also double into Kial. Now let's go hard into Kial, see what happens. Yeah, I can just turn again. I don't really care about the damage. Because I got Roots on here. So. Or just click EQ. And he's going to go into this thing this time. Double Helmet. Nope. I can go into Lacey and click Wish. I can go into Lacey and click Psyshock. I really want to do that. I don't think it would work. But I want to do that ungodly bad. Screw it. Let's do it and see what happens. Go back into Salazzle, please. This will do a lot. Do it. Do it. Ah, bummer. I'm very sad. He's leftovers, so I calced something incredibly wrong on that Necrozma. I don't know how I don't know how Photon Geyser works. He did a lot to me. I really don't understand Photon Geyser. because it said he's like timid max special attack, and it's a special move. It does 30%, but it's not. I mean, it can't be a physical move, obviously, because that would have just wrecked my bones. I'm so confused. I literally don't know how it's doing this much. Like, something's lying to me. I know I'm screwing something up here, but I couldn't tell you what it was. Also, he's like HP invested because that Psyshock did -2. Hyper Voice would do a decent chunk. I'm gonna try to wish into Snippet. He goes for EP right now. It would be sad. But I gotta try to get something going. So I'm gonna believe in the power of cheese, and I'm gonna do something stupid. So let's do it. Snippet's gonna come out. He's gonna SD. That's bad. So he was physical. I thought it was special the whole time, but I'm really confused. Like, unbelievably confused. Like, he was... I'm gonna assume he's, like, adamant. Or he's jolly or something. Alright, I'm really confused. I'm not gonna pretend like I understand, but I made some very bad assumptions based on my calc. He's about to kill me with an Earthquake. Right now. I'm gonna assume. Let's see how much it does. Yeah, Earthquake definitely kills. If I were to crit this Night Slash, I don't think it kills. Not even close. I've literally lost, and that's if I crit the Night Slash. I need a little bit more damage on here, but freaking Storm is fucking burned. Freaking Prism Armor, man. It's real. I'm gonna go into Storm and just absorb the EQ and try to pivot. Aw, man. All right, well, that's fine, I guess. I'm gonna stay in and go for, because he's gonna just U-turn, or he's gonna like Toxic or something. I'm gonna stay in and go for Roost, because that's gonna force him into something else, because he's gonna U-turn here. Yeah. No, I want my momentum still. Darn it. Snippet. So close to glory. If that thing didn't have HP invested, would I have killed? I would have had a chance. Rack comes out. I'm just gonna click U-turn. Whatever he does. 53. That did a lot. But he's definitely Choice Scarfed. Realistically, I should have stayed in and gone for Roost to scout for what move it was, but, you know, I'm kind of stupid, so... he's locked into that, probably. So I could go into Hitmontop and click Toxic, hope I hit it this time. Or I can go into Lacey and try to wish. Close combat still to... Oh, that's Light Orb. Hold on. I'll see if I can live a Scarf one. I should be able to. I'm gonna go into Lacey and try to wish. Oh, he's not Scarfed. Okay. Well, that's sad, but my play is to go into Chocolate. And I'm gonna click Psychic. I can also click Nasty Plot. If he doesn't stay in here, that'd be rad. Because he's just gonna go into Cornelius over here, and I'm gonna take nothing. So I'll fix it. 33. I didn't do a half bad job. I'm gonna click NP, click Wish. Yep. I'm gonna click it again. Oh, I can click T-Bolt this time. Oh yeah, let's click T-Bolt. This'll do a lot. I should have clicked NP again, that was dumb of me. My new question is, can I live... Man, I should have clicked NP there. That was dumb, but what are you gonna do? I'm gonna go into kill, I'll take the knockoff. And I'm going to double. Back into Chocolate. Or I can go into Snippet. I was going to Snippet. And this time, I'm just going to click it. Crit, something, or I can click agility. Oh, shit. Yeah, I got my crit. Let's go. Click cross poison. Oh, I got another one, but it didn't do enough. It's okay. He pivoted. He's gonna get into a rack here. I got 2 crits in a row. That's pretty hype. Oh, Coco's just gonna come out. He's probably just gonna click Volt Switch. I can just go into Storm and sack that thing. I'm not going to Fuck it. If he clicks Volt Switch, that's cool. Yeah. What are you gonna do? Rack's gonna. Oh, it's just Salazzle again. Dusty Scoot. And I'm gonna go into. I want to get into Chocolate while terrain is up. Kill me, please. Darn. On the off chance you don't kill me here. Okay, that's fine. You could totally be Focus Sash. I would be very sad if you were Focus Sash, but I'm gonna go into Chocolate anyway. What the hell? Why not? Sad. Now I'll click Thunderbolt. Alright, well, Chocolate got a kill. That's super cool. Snippet, I haven't shown him agility on Snippet yet. He just knows I'm a cheesy set, but I might still be able to get some cheese going because I just need some chip on some stuff. Namely, Cornelius over here. Because I can't keep critting through that thing, and he can chip me down with Rocky Helmet, and I don't have any way to set up over it. I gotta get Chocolate to +2. Yeah, this stupid piece of crap comes back out. You can Wish, you can NP, you can do a couple different things. I'm gonna go into Pharaoh here, and I think I want to click Thunder Wave into something coming in. Oh, he's just gonna double into Coco. That's cool. He's just gonna either Volt Switch or Madness me here. My play is to set Leaf Seeds to minimize my damage. He's got Taunt. Good play. And I'm gonna click Direwolf. Best case scenario is you go into Terrakion. Nope. This will still do a decent chunk. 43. I could go into Snippet. Try to take a hit. But probably not. Could also go into Kyall. Or can stay in and just die. Let's see how much Chocolate takes from him. Probably a lot. You are a Salazzle. But I broke a potential Sash, which is pretty sick. Sludge Wave kills. It doesn't kill, but my next... Or if you got a Maxwell, my next move would kill me. He could also have something else. I don't have a Fire Resist, so he's just going to go for Flamethrower. Realistically, this thing does -2 things for me, and I can just go into Chocolate and click Psychic now, and click... What do I need the most? I need... I'll stay in and just let this thing kill me. I think that's my least useful member. I'm going to go into Chocolate, and I'm going to click Psychic. I could also click Nasty Plot on Cornelius coming out. Or literally anything else coming out. No, because I wouldn't do enough at +2, and he could still be able to knock me off. So I don't think I'm going to be able to beat that Licky, which is sad, but... Yeah, he stayed in to stop me from Nasty Plotting. That's probably the play I would have made, so glad I got Salazzle out of there. But still, I'm in a bad spot. So you can do a couple different things here. You can knock me off, you can Toxic. My play is to go into Kyall. If you double, that's fine. I could also go into Snippet, too late. It doubles into Necro. I got a Toxic to stall this thing. He's going to T-Wave me. Hit this. Cool. And I'm going to go into Snippet this time. If you double, that's cool. Coco's going to come out. You're going to hit me very hard with something. But I think I still want to click Cross Poison. I could also just double into Chocolate and absorb the move. And be in a decent spot. And then just Thunderbolt Licky a couple times. I'm going to do that. Yeah. Because this will still do a decent chunk in terrain. And then I can get into Snippet and try to do some stuff. So let's click T-Bolt here. 42. That did not do a lot. Alright, well. The question is, how much does a crit do to this thing? Because he had a decent chunk of bulk on there. Let's call it like 200. A crit Night Slash. Crit Night Slash doesn't kill. That's so sad. He's just going to be able to wish, man. I wish I had Swords Dance, but I don't. I'm going to go into Kill and double back into Snippet. And now, I also click Agility, or yeah, if I clicked EQ into Terrakion coming out for the Night Slash, that'd be baller. I'm gonna do that. Oh dang it! He's gonna smack me with Earthquake. Oh. Well, joke's on you. I have Agility. Ha 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 ha! I can offset that kind of. Yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna click it. I'm gonna click it. See if I can get myself back in gear. Dude, it only takes 2 agilities to offset. Or Photon Geyser. Haha, I got you. Goon, get this off. Yes! Should I click it again to stop Terrakion from sweeping me? No, I'm gonna click Night Slash this time. Oh, that was a good play. I guess you gave this thing a justified. Well, that's GG's now. So I gotta go into kill. I should have clicked Agility again, or Earthquake twice. CC. Dead. Yeah, well, I very lost. So that's super sad. I'll click CC, just for shits and giggles. Live it. Nope. Yeah, I knew I didn't have anything for this Terrakion, but what are you gonna do? Oh, I lived it. No. Tragic. Well, GG's. Very sad. GG's to beat her. Yeah, there was a little bit of hacks my way. I really don't think it made a difference. I couldn't beat that. I mean, I possibly could have beat that Licky, but I mean, the first toxic miss on Necrozma was huge. That would have made my life a lot easier. But you know, that's the game. What are you gonna do? So thank you so much for watching this battle, guys. Thank you so much to beat her for getting this in. We'll be back hopefully next week. I am doing horribly in this league, so we'll see if I can't bring this back a little bit, going into moving closer to playoffs. I don't even know if I'm in contention right now. But thank you guys so much for watching this battle as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.